Hello, my name is Mary Measy and I'm presenting for Psychology 110. My presentation will consist of what is love. Through this presentation, we will decide what love is by how it differs from country to country and how sexual desire is an emotion or feeling and how that affects love. So the first part talks about, in an article that I found, it said that there's two ways to describe love, and it's passionate love and companionate love. So passionate love, by Rees, says that love is a state of intense longing for a union with another person. So a great example of this would be like a military couple. So like maybe the woman's over here in like the U.S. and her husband or boyfriend or something like that is over in Iraq, and they both have a longing for each other. So she's just wanting him to come home. She wants him to be safe. She wants to see him. She wants to be able to talk with him. His longing for her is wanting to like hold her and hug her and just like feel her affection, be happy to see her, just be able to talk and laugh and have like good times that they had before he left. Companionate love, that deals with the effect we feel for those with whom our lives are deeply intertwined. So another good example of this would be like old married couple, just because they started out with passionate love, but then since they've been through the highs and lows of life, you know, they went through college together and they had to get married and deal with financial problems and they had kids and they went through everything. Through that, they grew together. So by growing together, they were able to like intertwine with each other and learn what each other liked and what each other disliked. They were able to like, you know, share their emotions, so they were able to be happy or sad or mad and not be scared to like tell the other person like, hey, I'm not happy with you, or hey, you made me really happy today. Like, they're happy and they're able to grow with each other no matter what the situation is. So this quote I thought fit very well because it's from the Notebook. The best love is the kind that awakens the soul, that makes us reach for more, that plants the fire in our hearts and brings peace to our minds. That's what I hope to give to you forever. So in the Notebook, the two people start out together over the summer, so that's like passionate love. They're learning each other, they're like talk to each other, learning how to date and things like that. Then they eventually break up, but while she's dating other men, she still has a longing for him. So she still wants to see him. Eventually they do get back together. By the end of the movie, they're both old. They've been, you know, they've had kids, they've been through life and everything. So they've reached that stage of companionate love. So I thought it fit really well. From a psychological point, it says that passionate love and companionate love both are able to help with adaptation problems, just because it helps the people through passionate love find attraction and be able to talk to someone else, so they're able to like come out of their shell. And then with companionate love, it just helps them grow and become a better person. So the next part, the triangle theory of love, it just is a three-step thing that kind of describes what love can be. So at the very top, intimacy is at the top, and that's like a very like extreme. So at each point, it's an extreme, and then in the middle, it just all kind of comes together. So intimacy, that would be like feelings for that person. After that, it can either go towards passion or towards commitment, whichever one. Some people, you know, like to go to commitment and like to jump into a relationship and, you know, talk to each other, grow together, things like that, and then get married and have the passionate side of the relationship. Either way, it works. It's just a three-step way that can kind of like maybe conclude of what love is and how it works. So intimacy. Psychological Today says that intimacy is where two individuals can trust each other with feelings, emotion, thoughts, and worries. It's just a way that they can trust each other through speaking. They can, again, be like emotional with each other and not have to worry about being made fun of with each other. So it's like, you know, if the girl comes home and has a bad day and starts crying, or the guy comes home and has a bad day, maybe he shows an emotion of crying, you know, it's not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to make fun of you because you're crying. You know, it's going to be like, well, I'm here for you. I'm going to help you the best I can. With commitment, that's just, you know, like another example of marriage. So it's just deciding that you want to be with that person no matter what. And, you know, you're going to have hard times, you're going to have low times, and you're going to try your best to make that relationship work even in the hardest of times, even in the best of times. And then with passion, passion reflects the intensity of your sexual desire towards your partner. So later I will talk about sexual desire, but for the moment, like, passion is an important part of love, but it's not something that is necessary right at the beginning when you're interested in someone. You can fall in love with someone just by talking to them before you have any sexual relations with that person. So I found a really cool article that defines love of women, how women love their spouses or boyfriends between the U.S. and Russia. So they had a study, and they had the women come together, and the participants had to fill out a questionnaire, and they had questions like, I will do anything I can to make my partner happy. So, and then you would rate that 1 to 5, 1 being highly disagree, 5 being strongly disagree. And then they also had questions of, in your opinion, what is love, and how do you show that to your spouse or your partner? So through that, they found that women, in the U.S., they all have their own unique idea of love. It has some people think of love as just being able to talk to that person. Others think of it as having just someone there to hold them, or just hang out, or watch movies, or be silly, wrestle, do whatever you want. The women in Russia, though, they were ecstatic. If they found out or they realized they loved someone, they would tell as many people as they could, just because they were so excited. They didn't care, they didn't see it as bragging, they're just excited. So they will tell anyone on the street, hey, me and my fiance, we're so in love, I'm so excited, they're just overjoyed to be in love. And I thought it was pretty interesting, just because movies nowadays just picture love as just one type of thing, The Notebook. So it's just one type of love, but you never think of other countries and other people thinking it's love differently. So romantic love, it's a type of passionate love. Instead of romantic love being a close union or feeling, it is when two individuals have their own interests, and they're able to feel comfortable to talk about their interests, and then maybe compromise on those interests and grow together, or maybe have to have an understanding of those interests. So if a man and a woman are dating, and the man says oh yeah, I want to have 1 kid, and I just want to work a lot, but the female says oh, I wanted to have a bigger family, maybe 4 kids, 5 kids, and I wanted to stay at home and take care of the kids, and just have a cute little home and stuff like that. That's reaching a point of romantic love, because they're able to talk about their interests and what they want for their future, and then maybe a compromise will come out of it. If not, they're still able to maybe he can sit down and say well, can you explain to me why you want to have so many kids, and why you want to live at home, and why you don't want to go out and get a job. And then she can sit and be well, why do you feel the necessity to work so much and only have 1 child? And maybe that can bring up different things that they can also talk about, and then they'll help them maybe grow into a companion relationship, or maybe fall apart. But it's a point in their love where they're able to talk about their different needs. And then finally, sexual desire. A study about romantic love said that, from Psychology Today, said that sexual desire, 2 people may fall in love without having sex. It's not a necessary thing. Like I said before, you're able to fall in love with someone before anything happens. So I know when I got into a relationship with my boyfriend, before we even started dating, just talking to him, it made me happy. It made me feel important. So it was being able to talk to someone is I think is important, just because you're able to share your emotions, share your feelings, things like that. So it's not necessary. It's there for the physical side. For women, studies have shown that the physical side can help them just become more attached. So it is important, but it's not needed in the first stage to decide if you're in love with that person or not. So my application question is just, in your personal relationship, which stage of love are you in, and in what ways does this aspect of love affect your everyday life? So those are my references and my contact information. Any questions? Yes.
So say a couple gets married when they're young, like is it possible to keep that passion like in their like together their entire life? Like is it possible to keep them their passion for their entire relationship, or is it like eventually gonna die out no matter what?
Of what I read, some things said that passion will just grow into companionate, but then, and so will kind of die off. But then other things I read, which I found interesting just because it was, I don't know, it just seemed more reliable, like the source that I read about, it said that like there will always be a passionate love just because like you will find something new about your spouse or your partner like every single day. So like, you know, like one day you might like, you know, just be used to their laugh, but another day like their laugh might just seem like over energizing to you, and you might fall in love with them like all over again just because of their laugh or just because of something they said. Like they might say like, I love you like every single day, but maybe saying it like on a Wednesday morning when you're having a really bad day can cause them to maybe become more overjoyed and cause them to maybe fall in love with them all over again. So it can like, it may die off, it may not. So it all depends. Yes?
Why do you think there was such a difference between the Russian women and the United States women?
From just like what I assumed, I thought there's a difference just because in America we seem to be kind of like overrun with just technology, and you seem like every time you get on social media you see like, oh, this person and this person are like in love. Like they can be like eighth graders, freshmen, and it's like, oh, good for them, like they're in love. But I think like over in Russia, like maybe a lot of people, they're more like connected, like I don't want to say like physically, but they're more like, you know, closer to their neighbors, not just like connected on social media. So it's just like they want to share that like information just because it's something you might not hear every day. Yes.
So I believe that falling in love and being in love are two different things. So do you think that people enter relationships or stay in relationships because they enjoy the feeling of falling in love or being in love more?
I think it depends on the individual, because I think if you fall in love, maybe it is possible that when you reach that stage of romantic love where you show your interest, maybe you might fall out of love just because your interests might not be the same. I think maybe being in love, you've kind of maybe passed that romantic love and you've hit a stage of like commitment, or you've hit a stage where it's starting to change in companionate love. So I think it all depends on the individual and, well, the two individuals that are in the relationship and what they talk about.